Hello, and welcome to Together as Neighbors, the podcast, the official podcast of the Jimmy for Hyattsville campaign. Today, we have a very special episode for you. I am going to be interviewing one of my favorite people, my fifth grade teacher, Miss Mary Clayton. Miss Clayton's going to discuss her experience growing up in rural South Carolina and what propelled her to choose a career in public service as a teacher. She'll even talk about 10-year-old me and what I was like in her class. This is an episode you're not going to want to miss, but after the podcast, stay connected with the campaign on social media or on our website at jimmyforhyattsville.com. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome to the Together as Neighbors podcast. Today, I am very excited to bring on board one of my favorite people, my fifth grade teacher, Miss Mary Clayton, who is going to join us today in a conversation about who inspires her and a little bit about her story. So welcome, Miss Clayton.
Hi, Jimmy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited. You know, we're on Zoom right now. The folks listening to this won't see us, but this is, I think, the first time I've actually seen you since probably 2005 or so when I left elementary school.
Wow.
Face
Well,
to
I
face.
tell you what, you still look the same to me. And I'm very happy to be here. And it's an honor to see my boy that's grown out and out here in the community doing something that I have prayed and hoped to see and knew it was going to happen, that you were going to reach out to a lot of people in the world. So I'm very pleased. I'm very happy to what you're doing. And I want you to continue this.
Thank you very much.
Because there are people out there need your voice. I need your voice too, believe it or not. That's why I'm very proud of you. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that alone.
You'll always have my voice. You know, Miss Clayton lives in the same town I grew up in. So, you know, we will see once this pandemic is over. I will absolutely be down there, and we can meet face to face. And I'm excited. I'm very excited to see you again.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to that also. Each and every day. I even want to get on the plane and come to where you are. So it may happen sooner than you think.
That's right. Great. So what we're going to do today is just talk a little bit about your story. So I would love to know if you can just inform our listeners now. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to now. You know, I know you're still a teacher, but talk to me about that story, how you ended up where you are today. And you can talk, I know you have many stories, so however you want to take that.
Oh, yes. Well, you know what, how this started my career, I look back over my life. And then all of a sudden, you know, I was in elementary school, and I know I've told you this, but to share it with someone else, I was always put in a corner. And I was so eager to learn, but no one would help me until I would cry. And they just would, would not still help me until I hit fifth grade. And all of a sudden I went to the library, and I was, because of a video or a movie I saw one night during Halloween, October, and it was Charlotte's Web. And I sat there and I remember that whole story. So I went to the library and I told the librarian, I said, I would like a book. And it was titled Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. And she said, I have that book in the library. And she took me to the children's area. All of a sudden, Jimmy, I saw all these books. I saw so many books in my life. I said, oh my gosh, I want to take all of them home, but I couldn't. But anyway, I went and got the book and I opened it up and I wanted to see if I could remember the first part of the words that said once upon a time. And I did. I opened the book and it said that. It said once upon a time. And it took me as if I was the characters in the movies, in the show. Just like, Wilbur and Charlotte. We would go, Charlotte. So I started imitating all these characters and memorizing them. So I went through school and I said, oh my gosh. And the light bulb just came on after that, because I struggled through school till about fifth grade. And the light bulb came on, and all of a sudden I just began to not to want to stop reading and reading and reading. My brother then would pick me to here come, the book, the book brain here. So I didn't take it as seriously. So then I continued through high school. Next thing you know, I wanted to take a sewing class. And then all of a sudden I took the lady said, no, you're going to take cooking. I said, well, I know how to cook. I just want to sew. And so she and I just went back and forth, back and forth. And then all of a sudden she looked at me and she says, you know what? You would never amount to anything. I looked at that lady. I said myself, now that was not very nice. So I took that as heart and I said, okay, struggled through elementary. I was in a corner, went through high school. The lady told me I wouldn't amount to anything, but I sat down one day after graduation. I did graduate. I did with very good grades. I think it was over 3.3, 3.4. So that was good to me. So I didn't think I was going to go to college. All of a sudden, I went to sign up for every college I could sign up for. I didn't know I was that smart because they were all accepting me. So I said, oh my gosh. So on my bed, I just put them all out there and I just said, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And I went to and sent it to Morris College in Sumter, South Carolina. Next thing you know, I was accepted. I was accepted to all the colleges, Alaska, but I did go to Morris College and I went through school and I, started there. I started with first grade as my intern. And I began to look at a little girl and helping her. And the light bulb came on again. And it seemed like, she has some, little challenges in her life, but to see her learn, that made me feel good. And I did graduate, cum laude, very high average, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. But I came out here in this world and all of a sudden, here I am. And I thought about those two things. I did make it through college. But I didn't stop. That's the light bulb that turned on for me. So I would say, next thing you know, I worked for many years. Then I came in 1990, came to Brevard County. So that's where I got to where I am today.
Yeah, that is
through that challenge. And from that part, I knew that I had to focus on achievement in life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how I didn't know that you were an AKA.
Yeah. Oh yeah, ladies of intelligence. So that was another thing that helped me to progress. Also, that gave me the spunk to say, I am smart. But Charlottesville did it though.
Wow. So I know we've talked about this, but I always love hearing from your perspective about my time in your class as a 10 or 11-year-old. Talk to me about who I was then, and with us reconnecting last year, what have you noticed? Ooh. Just about your students in general, or about our conversation?
To hear your voice when you hunted me down, it was just amazing. So when I went to hear your voice on the phone, I'm thinking, I'm hearing this little boy has grown up, college and everything, but in class, you were the quietest child. I tried everything. I would sing. And the key thing is you were lit up, but you were quiet. You were so quiet. And I'm thinking, is he learning or what? I'm just concerned. I said, what can I do to open up this child's mind to see him to just come out of that shell that he was in? And why is he so nervous? So I didn't know. So the key thing is I started taking my lessons and turning them into music, singing in the classroom, making beats out of words like, 4 or less and math stays the same, 5 or more, pump it up. All of a sudden I see this little boy moving. The next thing you know, social studies came around and history. So that was just like, you were totally the light of joy. Seemed like everything that I talked about was history, and I brought the real world into you in pictures and songs and movies and videos and singing and wearing the culture of different holidays and the Irish, even like, seriously, we did everything in the classroom to bring in diversity so that you guys could see that it was something. But Jimmy, the history thing was great. You were sitting in class and all of a sudden the music started singing, and doesn't matter what we were singing, gospel songs, hip hop, rap, you would move. But then history time came and you would stand up in there and you would respond, and you would have debates with the children as who was right and who was wrong. So it was very challenging. I'm thinking, this little boy is going to be someone. I spoke of you, and I told your mom, your mom would come and have conference with me all the time. I said, you need to not worry about him. He is going to open up and light up this whole area. He is going to reach people. He just needs to have that opportunity, because he has a lot inside that he wants to do, and to show people that he loves people. And so it did. When there was a debate, you were there. Jimmy was there to make sure that we knew what was right and we knew what was wrong, agreed and disagreed. You showed evidence of the history, or you showed evidence that, this is something that we should do and we should stand strong on it. So that's what I loved about you opening up. You did come out of your shell. And I did let your mom know that you don't have to worry. He has perseverance. He's not going to give up on what he aims to do in life. But people have to also stand behind you. Like, I'm number one on your block. You're my daughter. I really am. That I am grateful and honored for the young people reaching out to the community. So that's where I go with that. Where I see you are today. I spoke over you. I knew it was going to happen. And to hear you in conversation, I'm thinking, this little quiet guy is just speaking out in this world. He has something to say, and people need to listen. And I love that. I love that about you, Jimmy. And I'm about to cry, so I got to stop. My Jimmy.
Thank you so much. I love hearing those stories too, because I remember, not in the same way, because, I was a child at the time, but to know now as an educator myself, I see things the way you saw me and you saw the other students in our class who are all successful in our own ways. And I am so thankful for you and other teachers that didn't give up on us, that tried to find places to meet us so that we could be successful. So I am eternally grateful for you, and I'm so thankful.
I spoke of all my children, and I am seeing these things happening today, and I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I can look back over my life, and I can sit back and say, well done, children. It's still more work to do. Keep going, Jimmy. You should have a little bit more work to do.
Right. And we're gonna keep on going. But I want to transition a little, because love hearing the stories about me, but I want to know more about you. I would love to know, in honor of Women's History Month, who are some women who have inspired you in your life? If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Oh, wow. First of all, I truly give thanks to God who has inspired me. And then when it comes to speaking out to me, is my mother. And my two sisters, which those two ladies are very phenomenal. They also went for those degrees. And then my daughter, Kristen. And last but not least, my children inspires me every day. Even I look back over my books and everything else, and my yearbooks and my photos and so forth, they give me strength. So you guys keep inspiring me. Even though my mom is, she's from a descendant of a fighter, not to give up. That's something she used to say to me all the time. You have to have perseverance, Mary. And my two sisters, they graduated with degrees also. And then here, Kristen, she's an achiever, a wonderful daughter who is also a fighter for success. And I believe that she achieved with those 4 degrees that she has. And I tell this event every day. Every day, I tell this. And I tell this to everybody, you're supposed to walk around every day in every way. I'm better and better. So this is how the inspiration. Now, when it comes to someone that's zillions out there in the world, Marvin Collins, Marvin Collins, Marvin Collins story, starring Cicely Tyson. Now, this lady here, she was such a strong fighter also. So I admire Cicely Tyson and Marvin Collins, because they helped me to feel strong. Now, Marvin Collins is a lady who was also a teacher who ran her own school. So she strived to do her best to educate the children. So that's something that I strive to do. And she really touched my heart. I mean, I cried when I saw that movie because I said to myself, I have to keep fighting. I have to keep going. The children are inspiring me. So children are and then their families are my family. So that's where I am today with this. It's always continued to be that thought in my mind, is that success. And that to tell all my children to always that, you have to just keep believing to achieve. And you will see success. You will succeed. You just have to walk it every day and speak it. So that's my inspiration of people in my lives.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So as we wrap up today, I could keep talking to you for hours and hours. And maybe we'll do a follow-up podcast so more people can hear, because I have absolutely no doubt that folks are listening and want to hear more. But as we close out today, I would love to just know, it's been tough times with the pandemic and everything going on when we think about this country and the violence that we've seen, as well as the hope that's coming from some of that. So I'm wondering what you are looking forward to in the coming days, weeks, months, years. So there's no really time limit on it, but what's something that you're looking forward to as we think about closing this out on a chapter of hope with our conversation today?
I'm always looking forward to every day that I wake up, that I am blessed and I'm alive. So that's number one. Number two is that I would love to see the children face to face. The doors are opening to the schools, so that I can help continue to reach minds. To see my daughter, to visit you. Seriously, this is on my agenda for sure. Yeah. It's almost like, whatever you call those cups and boxes and everything, bucket list. Okay. So, but each and every day, regardless of what, that every day that I'm awake and alive and blessed, I'm thankful. I'm looking to take off the mask and just reach out to more people. Go visit the elderly people. Go visit the children and sit among their homes like I used to, and make me feel good. And this is how come I know that you are doing the same out there. And if people can just understand is that you are knocking on doors. You're going to be knocking on doors. You're going to, this is what I want to see. And I would like to do also, knock on doors. When you make those statements, when you make the statement, Jimmy, that you believe, and you just keep stepping that way, because that's what gives me strength. Seeing the increase in ability to see my students, you, and my children. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Great. Well, you have my commitment. I will continue to spread that message of belief and hope, and that better days are coming. They are, because they are. But I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a pleasure, as always, to talk with you. I'm looking forward to continuing to hopefully see you pretty soon, but continuing the conversations. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. Be blessed.
Thank you. So for anyone who is looking forward to ways that you can get involved, either with this campaign or in the community, please be sure to visit my website at jimmyforhyattsville.com, where you can find out more information about what's happening in Hyattsville, as well as join our campaign in various ways through volunteering or signing up for a newsletter. So it's been a wonderful conversation, and we will see you on our next episode. Have a good day.